name is Riley Sorensen. I live in Calgary, Alberta. I'm a fourth year marketing student at Mount Royal University, and this will be my fourth year that I'm going into StudentWorks next year. So
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you for obviously taking the time to sit down with me because it's now September. You just wrapped up, or you're almost done wrapping up your third season with us.
yeah,
You hit your goal. You beat your goal of 230, which was just enough, or 231, just enough to get you past the $500,000 mark, which is super
yeah.
impressive for 3 years, with even crazier goals for next year, which I'm super pumped for. Get you close to that $1 million mark, which
So,
is just kind of exciting. So I just wanted to obviously go through some questions and ask you some stuff to help any other future people that might be interested in running a business. And obviously you've done quite well, and I think you've got a lot of great insight that you can hopefully share with everyone. So what made you, I guess, at the very beginning, want to run a business with us?
at my old position, I'd kind of been asking for more leadership, more like responsibility roles, stuff like that. And they just kept passing it up, even though I felt like I was one of the more experienced people on the team. So that kind of just obviously made me start looking to branch out, and kind of from there, obviously like speaking with Mitch and him just telling me a little bit more about the program, that kind of made me interested in obviously signing up for like the information sessions, going to the interview, stuff like that. But the main thing was just kind of taking on the opportunity to have my own schedule, be a lot more responsible, obviously, in a job place setting. And I I kind of felt like this position offered me the opportunity to take on a lot more scope in the business world that kind of went with my program. So instead of just like, say, doing a co op program as an assistant or whatever in an oil company or whatever it may be, this provided me like an opportunity to learn how to market, how to be more consumer facing, run finance, even though we have a lot of help with StudentWorks, being able to kind of like run an efficient job site, run a payroll, stuff like that, and customer service in a completely different aspect of like what you would be in, say, like a restaurant or retail or whatever. I felt like that was a really unique opportunity, and that was kind of like what really drew me to it.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of things that come out of this, and it's quite a unique experience that does cover a lot of different parts of business, which I guess kind of brings me to my next question. So obviously you're studying business in school, but what did you learn uh, through running your business? Maybe more so in your first year, but obviously you've come back for a second and a third year. So what are some kind of like key takeaways that you think maybe you were able to learn just through running the business?
I felt like the biggest one was probably both time management and problem solving, kind of interlinked in a way. But I felt like prior to StudentWorks, even in the school aspect, like uh, I was only taking 4 courses at the time, since I've kind of taken some semesters with 5 courses and such. But I felt like I was always under like a very time sensitive, very pressured kind of schedule with like the receivables and kind of stuff like that with school, with projects, tests, stuff like that. And just kind of doing this opportunity with StudentWorks, it's helped me realize that school really isn't that much work, because you're able to kind of just schedule out certain little things, and as long as you keep to your schedule, it's honestly pretty simple to get stuff done on time. Obviously, if you take more courses than 5, it might be a little different, but I feel like it's a very like reasonable time frame, and that kind of helped me with just like having to be really organized. That was one of the things that I took away. And I mean, again, relating back to like your standard jobs and like, let's say retail, serving, stuff like that, which is pretty typical for like our age group. You do have like some problem solving aspects that you have to go through, but I felt like being in a more responsible role, having to deal with a lot more things in your day to day that might come up that you have to kind of work around, really helped with learning how to problem solve a little bit more efficiently and effectively, kind of, which again is a lot of value to bring back into school. So those are kind of like the two things that I've learned mostly from running the business, was those two aspects. And I mean, there's a lot of other core values that you could take away, but those would probably be the two biggest ones.
Yeah, it's funny how often actually I hear that from people. that, school, they think is hard. And then, they do this and they realize how hard this is, but also, again, the skills that they can take away from this that just transfer directly into being a student or just anything in life, because time management, organization, all these things, being able to understand practical priorities and, where to put your time, and how to do things, they're just so important, and a lot of people, report back that, hey, my school grades are, they're going up, I'm doing way better in school because I'm realizing that, like, I was just wasting so much time doing the wrong things or doing things the wrong way. So that's fantastic and that's awesome. So I guess you came back for second year, you came back for a third year, now you're coming back for a fourth year. What is making you come back, and what are you looking to get out of it, kind of thing?
Well, I feel like every year that I've run my business, I have really grown and learned a lot more. And I feel like there's a lot more to learn, obviously. And um, I feel like it takes a couple of years to really become good at what you're doing. And I feel like going into a fourth year, it'll give me an opportunity to really expand my business quite a bit more than I previously have. Like
Mhm.
taking on people from new positions, such as like an actual production manager, stuff like that. That'll be a completely new experience. And I feel like there's a lot more development personally to do as well, just with like leading people and sales, marketing in new areas. Just there's so much more to learn, I think. Obviously, the monetary opportunity is also there as well, which is great with growing. So that's one of the big things as well. But I also really love the program. I love what like they stand for, how they train people, how they really just want to like help people's personal development, help people grow, help people be leaders at a young age, which is really cool. So I love the program. I love the people in it, and that kind of also is why I'm coming back again.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, I'm again
Yeah.
excited to see what you accomplish next year. You're switching to a new area, got some big lofty goals, but you've only been, doing better and better every single year, profit going way up, sales going way up, customer feedback, returning painters, all that kind of stuff, which is really, really cool to see. Last question, essentially, if you had to give one piece of advice to anyone considering, jumping into the kind of entrepreneurship, business kind of minded type thing, or jumping on to do student works with us, what piece of advice would you give them?
My piece of advice would be you definitely need to make sure you're in the right mindset and the right spot, I guess, in life. You don't want to come into this like 50% because it's just going to drag you down and you're going to get super discouraged and such. My suggestion would be like if you're going to take on an entrepreneurial opportunity like student works, you need to ensure that you're in a spot that you're ready to grow, you're ready to change, you're ready to sacrifice things, some of your personal time potentially.
Mhm.
Um, you need to like just really be in a spot that you're really willing to learn and grow and kind of throw yourself 100% into it, because if you kind of just dip your toe in and go 50%, it's not going to present the full opportunity that it could for you. And you might be in a position that you don't really want to come back and learn more and grow and develop because you're not really giving it its full, I guess, its full opportunity that you could. So I would suggest that if you're going to do something like this, obviously hard work equals success. So just make sure you're ready to put in the work to get the full rewards out of it.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. And I mean, we do get that, where a lot of times people, you're right, they don't fully understand, or they're not in the right mindset to go full blown into this, and they finish the season and they finish below where they wanted to be, and they don't realize that all the hard work they've put into has gotten them just to the edge of success that they might need a second year to see. And we have so many people that in their second years are just doing incredible. I mean, even for yourself, you increased your business by 70% and probably made more than double your profit, in the second year. Not to say you didn't do well in your first year, you're still above average, but you just saw tremendous success in your second year.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people, especially this year, that were way below average first year, that then tripled their business and have almost doubled, or more than doubled the average as a
Yeah.
second year. And they just had to get their mindset right, and they had to buy in and really make that dedication. But now for the rest of their lives, at 20, 21, 22 years old, they just are a different person, right? And they'll always know that. So awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending the time with me and answering these questions. I'm sure it'll be a lot of help to people, and I'm sure we will talk soon.
Yeah.